There was a fake list.
Yeah.
And I'm on it.
So you were on the island?
I was apparently, I don't.
So Whoopi Goldberg is clapping back at rumors that she and her friend Oprah traveled to Jeffrey Epstein's island. But it looks like people are not buying Whoopi's story. In case you missed it, a massive 900-plus page document recently hit the web exposing Epstein's associates and clients, and some unverified docs mentioned Whoopi and Oprah as one of the people whose names popped up on those infamous flight logs. And while Oprah is staying silent on these allegations, Whoopi decided to shut down the noise. Saying there's a fake list floating around that claims she jetted off to Epstein's island with Oprah. Whoopi swore up and down that she didn't even know Epstein, let alone chill on his island. But check this, folks are not entirely buying the innocent plea from Whoopi. In fact, a lot of people are side-eyeing the situation, bringing up Oprah's history of cozying up to proven predators like Harvey Weinstein and John
Oprah Winfrey and her BFF. The man in this photo is, quote, John of God. Oprah promoted him as a miracle healer. This man kept women chained to impregnate so he could sell their babies for organs.
They said I was on the island. They said, I'm like, I don't go anywhere.
The story was about a bus.
Maybe, but it's like, you know, so I'm just going to say, you know, and there's been a lot of stuff.
So to give you some context first, on the 3rd and the 4th of January, a flood of court documents over hundreds of pages spilled the tea on Jeffrey Epstein's associates, putting their disgusting business on blast for the world to see. These papers still keeping some secrets, with a few ed parts are a mixtape of sorts: court filings, emails, police reports, government docs, and depositions from heavyweights linked to Epstein's mess. We're talking former Epstein employees, his ride or die Ghislaine Maxwell cop. Folks who say they got caught up in Epstein's web, and supposed high-rolling clients who hopped on planes to Epstein's island. Now check this, in this treasure trove of unsealed info, there's a list of almost 200 names, and we're talking actors, singers, comedian, politicians, big shot lawyers, and other A-listers caught up in this whole Epstein saga. It's like a who's who of the high-profile world, and these docs are giving us a front-row seat to the real deal behind closed doors. A number of high-profile figures from the entertainment industry were named on the list, including Leonardo DiCaprio, Naomi Campbell, Chris Tucker, Cameron Diaz, and Cate Blanchett. Now, some alleged copies of the documents appeared on social media, alleging that both Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah Winfrey were named as visitors to Epstein's infamous Little S. James Island, where hundreds of girls were trained and died by Epstein and his associates. But Whoopi and Oprah's names haven't been officially confirmed as being mentioned in the released documents, and yet Whoopi felt the need to get ahead of the narrative, and during a recent episode of The View, she claimed there's a fake list circulating online with her name on it. Whoopi and her co-hosts laughed off the idea of Whoopi being one of Epstein's clients, and Whoopi shut it down, saying she never went to any island.
There was a fake list.
Yeah.
And I'm on it.
So you were on the island?
I was apparently, I don't know. They said I was on the island. They said, I'm like, I don't go anywhere.
The story was about a bus.
Maybe, but it's like, you know, so I'm just going to say, you know, and there's been a lot of stuff recently. I don't know what I've done to anybody, but apparently there are a lot of these kind of sites that are, what do you call them? They're
parody, or
they're satire sites.
Oh.
But people don't realize that they can be. Don't believe unless I tell you.
Right.
About.
But that's not the only supposed rumor would be addressed. She also dismissed recent viral reports that she got into a fight with Oprah backstage at The View. And she said the gossip culture these days is insane. Don't believe unless I tell you, right about me, but see all these rumors come from somewhere, and a lot of people online are saying both Whoopi and Oprah are extremely shady. Remember that time Monique spilled the tea on Oprah for blacklisting her? Well, Whoopi was one of the first ones to jump to Oprah's defense, and she even suggested that Monique should have been grateful for the opportunity to work with Oprah. The whole saga kicked off after the 2009 movie Precious was released, produced by Oprah and Tyler Perry, and directed by Lee Daniels after Monique completed her contractual obligations. Oprah and Tyler approached her to go on an overseas press tour to promote OTE Precious, but they told her she wouldn't be compensated for this tour. Monique said no thanks and almost immediately. Headlines started rolling and painting Monique as difficult and hard to work with, and then out of nowhere, all the roles that were knocking on her door vanished, and Hollywood acted like it locked her out. Monique later spilled the tea to the Hollywood Reporter, sharing how Lee Daniels straight up told her she was getting blackballed. She pressed him to tell her why, and Daniels hit her with, because you didn't play the game, but when Monique tried to get the dies on what game he was talking about, it was all crickets from Daniels. Now we all know what's up. It looks like they want all black entertainers to bow down to Oprah and never speak a word against her. It's pretty much an unspoken rule in Hollywood. But Monique refused to let them hush her up. She went on to call out not just Oprah, also her rumored lapdogs Whoopi Goldberg and Steve Harvey. So peep this when Monique hit up The View and broke it down that she already did all the contracted stuff for Precious and then Oprah and Tyler Perry. Ari tried to slide in asking for extra work without the cash. Whoopi wasn't having it. She came off all condescending, talking about how Monique should have jumped on that overseas tour for free because it's all part of her job, but Monique laid it out plain and simply: if rolling on an overseas tour without getting paid was really part of her job, the studio would have slapped her with a lawsuit for breaking the contract. But guess what? No legal drama went down, proving Monique knew her job and did what she got paid for. But Whoopi then took it to another level, talking about how she could have schooled Monique on how to handle her job. Can you believe?
I did all of my contractual obligations and I was done. Then when I start getting calls from Lee Daniels, Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, and Lionsgate, and they wanted me to come work for free. They wanted to go over to Cannes and promote this film internationally. And I said to them, I said, guys, my deal is with Lee Daniels, and I've done my job. And they all agreed. And this is what happens, in my humble opinion, when you don't go up to the hotel room. See, when I think about those women that said—
I'm gonna stop you.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop you.
Okay.
Because contractually,
Yes.
when you make a movie, regardless of who you sign the deal with,
Yes.
your job is to go and promote said movie.
Yes.
Well, she is one of a handful of egots, so she might know something, but I digress. So when Whoopi dropped that schooled word, Monique wasn't feeling it at all. Later on, in an interview with Vulture, Monique referred to Whoopi as the help honey. That's how much that comment didn't sit right with her. The very thing I went to The View to speak about was the very thing I experienced on The View. Monique said Whoopi Goldberg has always been the help. And I say that humbly. This is a woman who says I could have I've schooled you, and this is a woman who accepted Ted dancing in blackface, and our community praises this woman so oftentimes we do it to ourselves. But I just can't understand. I love my sister. However, when you know you're being fed the wrong food, you must say, I can't chew this. Yo, once again, the media came at Monique, throwing shade and pushing her to apologize to Whoopi. But Monique wasn't backing down. She stood firm and broke it down later, saying she called Whoopi the help because Whoopi tried to shame her on national TV just for asking to get rightfully compensated for her work.